So we're going to start Chapter 5, which is Employment Basics. Section 5.1 is looking for employment. There are a few definitions that we're going to go over really quick. The first one being employment agency. Employment agency is a business that lists job openings. So if you were to look for a job, you would go to an employment agency if you're having trouble finding something. A resume is a short account of your education and qualifications. Okay. Your W-4, that is a form you fill out for income tax purposes, and we'll talk about more taxes later this chapter. So a W-4 is an income tax form. Benefits are your health insurance, so health, your dental, your life insurance, child care, retirement. Any benefit that comes out of your paycheck is considered or classified under benefits. So let's do some examples. Danny just answered a help wanted ad. The ad states that the job pays $27K annually. What would Danny's monthly salary be if he gets his job? K means 1,000, so 27,000. So you would do 27,000 annually. So annually there are 12 months in a year, so you would divide that by 12. 27,000 divided by 12 will give you an answer of $2,250 per month. Okay. Question number 3. Enid got a job through an employment agency that charges a fee equal to 40% of the first 5 weeks' pay. The job pays $315 per week. How much does Enid have to pay the employment agency? So $315 per week. So $315 times your 5 weeks gives you a total of $1,575. Okay. And then it says, how much do you have to pay the unemployment agency? Well, they get 40% of your money. So $1,575 times 40% as a decimal. So if you have 40%, your decimal place is here. You move it 2 places to the left. So times 0.40 equals, when you do that on your calculator, $630. Okay, question 4. It says the Rockville Employment Agency just placed Howard Jacobson in a job as a senior pharmacist. The job pays $51.2K. The agency fee is equal to 40% of the first 3 weeks' pay. So what is Howard's weekly salary to the nearest cent? So it pays a total of $51,200. Okay. We are going to divide that by 52 because there are 52 weeks in a year. So we're trying to find out his weekly salary. When you do that, you will get approximately $984.62 per week. B says, what will Howard earn during the first 3 weeks? So you're going to take your $984.62 that you make per week, and you're going to multiply that by 3 to get the first 3 weeks. $984.62 times 3 would be $2,953.86. Part C. How much must Howard pay the employment agency to the nearest dollar? So for the first 3 weeks, they take 40%, remember from your question. So you're going to take that 2,953.86, and you're going to multiply that by 40% as a decimal. Again, 0.40. They are going to take 1,181.54. Now, if you were to round that to the nearest dollar, since it's 0.5, remember if it's 5 or greater after your decimal, you're going to round up. So your final answer would be $1,182. Okay. Question 5. Roger wants to have 400 copies of his resume printed. His local print shop charges $21.50 for the first 200 copies and $10 for every additional 100 copies. How much will the 400 copies cost, including a sales tax of 6%? Okay, so you're going to take $21.50, which is for the first 200 copies. So you got 200 of the 400 gone. So you have 400, that's what you want. You're going to subtract 200, which you did for $21.50, and you have leftover of 200 copies. So start with $21.50, and then for every additional 100, so how many hundreds are in 200? Well, there are two 100s in 200. So you're going to add on 2 times $10. So the $21.50 is your first 200 copies, and it is $10 for every additional 100. So you're going to multiply by 2 because you need 200 more. That gives you a total of $41.50. Now that's just your money. Now you got to add on your sales tax. Sales tax is an additional cost. So $41.50 times. Now, when you do sales tax, you have to add it on to your total cost. Your total cost, 100% of your total cost is $41.50. So when you add 6% to 100%, you're going to get 106%. Okay. Now 106, okay, as a decimal, you would move it 2 places to the left. So you would have a decimal of 1.06. Multiply those together, and you get $43.99. Okay. Now, for part B, if the number of sets of 100 resumes is represented by X, express the cost of the resumes Rx as a piecewise function. Okay, this is what a piecewise looks like if you remember from Math 1, 2, and 3. You had your R of X out front, and then you're going to have, excuse me, 2 equations. Okay. The top equation is for your first 200 copies. So this is for your 200 copies. And we know that's going to be $21.50. And that's going to be for any amount of copies less than or equal to 200. Now, for anything over 200, okay, it's going to be $21.50 plus $10 times X minus 2. Okay, the 2 coming from up here. Or if you want to write it, you can write it as 200 if you like to as well. Okay, that's totally fine. Okay, either way, you're going to get a similar answer at the end. Okay. All right, 2 more. Joanne is looking for a job as a teacher. She plans to send resumes to 123 schools in her county. Her local printer charges $23 per 100 copies and sells them only in sets of 100. How many copies must Joanne purchase if she is to have enough resumes? Okay, so she needs 123 total. Her printer charges $23 for 100 copies and sells them only in sets of 100. So she would need at least 200 copies because they only come in sets of 100. She needs over 100 because she needs 123. Part B, how much will the copies cost her, including 8% tax? So $23 per 100. So she needs her first 100 plus her second 100. So that's going to be $46. And now remember, add it on to 100%. It's an additional cost, so it's over 100%. So $46 times 1.08. That gives you a final cost of $49.68. Okay. Part C. If the number of sets of 100 resumes is represented by X with an 8% sales tax, represent R of X as a function. So R of X equals 1.08, that's your sales tax included, times 23 to the X. $23 for each set of 100. Multiply that by your sales tax. All right, number 7. It says an online job seeking service allows job seekers to post their resumes for free. The service charges employers looking for applicants a fee to look through the resumes. The fee is based on how long the employer wants access to the resumes and how many miles from the workplace address the employer wants to consider. The fees are $5.85 for a 100-mile radius for 3 weeks and $6.75 for a 150-mile radius for 3 weeks. If there are 98 resumes within a 100-mile radius, what is the average cost to the nearest cent of the employer looking for each resume? So you're going to take your $585 because we're doing the 100-mile radius right here. So $585, and there are 98 resumes, so divide that by 98. That gives you an average cost of $5.97 per resume. Part B, if there are 208 resumes within 150 miles, so that's going to be the $6.75. So $6.75 divided by 208, and that'll give you an approximate cost of $3.25 per resume. Okay. We're not going to do parts C and D. Again, if you need to check any old stuff, just rewind your video and you can get those notes copied down, all right, on your blank version.